Hello, welcome to An Abundance of Books. My name is Julia and today I'm going to be explaining the rules for my brand new Tbr game for 2022. As you may already know, I did a series of videos on my channel where I explored some potential Tbr games, and I have finally decided on one and we will play the first one today. The game that I have chosen, okay, so honestly what happened is I wanted to pick Quiddler. That's the first one I did and it seemed really fun, but I've played a lot of versions of it just for fun. And the problem is I keep getting the same words over and over again. And I can only come up with so many books that have ox as an applicable thing, so we're not going with that one. What we are gonna go with is backwards. It's categories. This is a super simple game to play, and I like that it will be different every time. There are 16 prompt cards in here, so what I'm probably going to do is just do 1 through 12, one for every month, and then come up with something new in 2023, just so we can keep it moving. I really like that idea. The way that categories works is you fill out answers for every item on the prompt card. You can't see it, but just trust me, you'll see it in a minute. And you have to fill out every prompt using the same first letter, which you get by rolling this 20-sided die that has all the good letters on it. It doesn't have like X and Z. So there are 12 prompts on here and I'm going to pick 5 of them, and I have to find a book that works in some way with whatever prompt I have, whether it's a word in the title or a vibe, or it'll be something different every time, which is something I enjoy. In terms of reward punishment, I don't really have rewards. This is just kind of an expectation of something that I'm going to do every month. Maybe I can have it contribute to a book buying fund, but I don't really need justification for that. So there aren't really rewards, but there are punishments. If I fail to complete my TBR, what I've decided to do is the next month I will instead have to do 6 books. But the 6th book will be something from my must-read list. In my goals, I listed 5 books that I have to read before the end of 2022. So one of those, but if those have run out, then I'll do another book that I'm intimidated by. Maybe I'll make another list after that. Though I read all of my must-read 2021 really late in the year, so we might not run into that problem. Other rules. DNFs count for reading something as long as I permanently DNF it. And if it's a physical book, like I have to actually have it leave the house. Also, my TBR can change. So whatever books I say in this video or whatever subsequent video, as long as I read a book that fits the prompt, it counts, even if it's not the book that I had originally set out to read. I'm pretty sure that's everything, so we can go ahead and do our first round. I'm really lazy. I'm trying to figure out how to do this without messing with my whole setup. This is the setup I came up with. It's very professional. I'm going to set my timer for 3 minutes. I'm going to be lenient on things like Americanisms, so this card has US cities and presidents. I'm going to allow myself to Canadianify those if I so choose. Cool? Cool. Here we go. The letter is B. Go. This is hard. I did it. I got all 12. 5 seconds to spare. So here are the prompts and here are my answers. Boy's name is Ben. A US city is Boise, Idaho. Things that are called basement. School supplies a binder. Pro sports team the Blue Jays. Insects butterfly. Breakfast foods bacon. Furniture a buffet. TV shows Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Things found in the ocean boats. Presidents Biden, and product names Bose. Bose? They make headphones. Now we just have to make sure we can find books for some of those. So that was actually a bit more difficult than I had anticipated, but we got them all now. The only part of it that was really easy was Blue Jay, because I just found something with a bird on the cover, and there are a ton of them. But what I think I'm gonna go with is The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Córdova. And you can see, can you? There's 2 birds right here. and they're blue. This is a story about a family who is magic and the matriarch dies and all of the kids inherit something. I don't know a ton about it, but I've heard really good things about it, and it was a finalist for Goodreads Choice in Fantasy, and I know there was some discussion around like how maybe that is a miscategorization, but I've heard nothing but good things, so I'm very curious. But there are actually a ton of other books on my TBR that have birds. Like I could have just done 5 books of birds, but I don't think that counts. Another one of the words that I selected was Bose, who are the headphone creator people. And so I decided to go with something music related, and I have The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle. What is this about? It's unclear. I think it's horror about a man in New York City who plays the guitar and magic, I think. I know I don't seem excited about this one, but I am actually really excited. It came from my so excited section, so that's gotta count for something. Then for Butterfly, there were a couple of options that I could have gone with too, but I'm gonna go with The Whisper Man by Alex North. Something that's been on my TBR forever. Like actually forever. It's a thriller about, is this one of the, like, the kids go out into the woods and they hear something, but the adults don't believe them. It's something like that, I think. But there's a butterfly on the cover, so I don't have to know anything else. Then I went with Buffy, who is a vampire slayer, and so I wanted to do A Dowry of Blood by, I'm not actually sure who it's by. I hope that I can get this one in time. I'm on hold for the audiobook. That's the only thing that the library has. So if I get it in time, I'll read it. But because there's a strong possibility that that won't happen, I also have The Murders of Molly Southborne by Tade Thompson. This, I'm going for more the slayer aspect than the vampire. This is about a girl, Molly Southborne, who every time she bleeds, a clone of her is created and it wants to kill her, and so she has to murder all of them. Another super short horror book. Clearly this is just my Halloween shelf that I didn't get to in time, but it's a very good option, I think. And the last one that I went with, which will also fulfill the buzzword for January, which is the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, why, and how. And I'm going with How to Be Fine. Again, I don't have it in front of me, by some people. It's a compilation of things that they learned from self-help books. As you can see, it's got a binder-y looking thing on the cover, but I think it's also like a bind-up of 50 books, taking the best things from there, and it might be comical too. That's kind of the impression that I get of it, but I like it as an option for January too, just like New Year's resolution time, you know, trying to be a better person. Maybe I will actually get something out of it and not have to read a whole 50 books. So there you go. That is my TBR for January, plus some library books, of course, but it went okay. The game is definitely harder than I thought it would be, but that's okay. It's supposed to be a challenge. It's supposed to help me try things that I wouldn't normally think of, help me think outside the box, you know, all that good stuff. And so I think we'll be okay. January will be fine. 2022 will be fine. It's all fine. At least after we read How to Be Fine. I have high expectations for that book. I hope that you enjoyed. There will be a playlist below of all of the TBR games for 2022 once there's more than just this one, if you are interested in watching all of them. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!